Leverich Racing fan, welcome. We're live here for Leverich Racing number three, and basically take this as the pre-Houston report. Therefore, the spring nationals in the fall. What you say about that, Joe?
Hey, man, I don't care what they call it. I don't care when they run it, as long as we get to run it.
I hear you, man. Yes, whatever they call it, it's a drag race. Let's get it in. Tonight, we've got Brian Golick on. Brian, man, look, introduce yourself to folks watching and what you do on the team.
How you guys doing? My name's Brian. I do the bottom end on the Leverich family car. At least I try to. I just pretty much catch all the oil and clutch parts that the guys decide to drop on me. But, I drop the oil down, drop the pan, check the bearings, and tell them everything's okay. Let's keep going.
All right. He's got the most unglamorous job there is in the nitro world. Underneath, nobody ever sees you. You catch all the parts. But I, for one, as a amateur photographer, am trying my best to give some glory to the bottom end guys. I'm trying. We've got Matt, the car chief. He chimes in here, says Burnout King. If anyone's wondering, we've had Matt on the show several times along with Joe. He is not here tonight because of the pink shirt violation last week. That is why he is not here tonight. No, we love Matt. But look, I'm looking forward to what is coming up for Team Leverich in Houston. But let's take a few moments. Let's look back at Enos, their Dallas. Guys, wow. Alexis DeJoria, your thoughts on, she has had 2 weekends now where she's done nostalgia racing in the worst way, because she's gone back to the 80s in explosions of, confetti of a body, and then this one, a big fireball. So, Joe, anything like that in your career so far? What do you think about what Alexis went through?
I've never had anything, driving the nostalgia cars. They're not generally as violent or vicious. I've been lucky. I've had oil thrown on me. I've had fuel thrown on me. But no, nothing like that. And listen, haven't been friends with some of the folks at Colitis for a long time. I've gotten to talk to Alexis a couple times, and spent a little bit of time with her once or twice. But I'll tell you this, she's the real deal, man. Not only is she a real driver, but man, she is a real honest to God racer to the core. And that's something I really like and respect about her. Listen, to go through that and jump right back in the car, that just tells you, that's proof right there that she is the real deal. Boy, I'm sure Del Worsham is frustrated, and Nikki, because they, generally things like that don't happen to those guys. They're great tuners. They know what the heck they're doing. Sometimes when you're burning nitro, things happen. Let's just leave it at that. Things happen. So, not fun. But boy, that fire she had was, like you said, Lee, that harkens back to funny car days of old, man. That was something.
Definitely was something. I was in the stands filming, and I think that's the most smoke I've ever seen from a car in a shutdown area. Just wild, absolutely wild. Jacob, look, good to have you on watching. I know everyone on right now, we're glad to be right here where we're at and talking some drag racing. Brian, look, your thoughts on what happened to Alexis, because you are in a funny car yourself in the alcohol ranks. So tell us about your ride and, any consideration on nitro after something like that.
I've always had the dream of driving alcohol early on because, I crewed on my partner's car when right before he decided to get out of racing. His name's Lou Scrow. And, I just always was after that alcohol car, the high RPM, etc. So obviously I have a alcohol funny car. Says Golick Scrow on the side. Seeing Alexis's fire, it doesn't really changed my perspective on what I'm doing, as far as like makes me nervous or scared or, you know, worrisome. You know, it's part of racing. You know, we're pushing these things as hard as we can to try to go as fast as we can. And, you know, seeing that doesn't really deter me down the road. If I wanted to drive nitro, you know, it's par for the course. You know, as Joe said just previously, you know, anything can happen when you're burning nitro. It's nitro. It just does what it wants to sometimes. And, you know, from driving to working on Gary's car here, the Leverich car, you know, I sit there from both perspectives of what would I do as a driver and what would I do as a crewman, thinking, did I do something wrong that could have potentially put her at risk, you know, to make, you know, think of it that way. You know, there's a lot of things that go through my mind because I've done almost anything on a car that you can think of, you know, now, of course, driving. So, you know, it's confusing, but at the same time, I try not to think about it too much because, you know, we're driving some of the fastest things on the planet and anything can happen. And, you know, we kind of know the risk getting in these cars, what they could do or what they couldn't do. So, you know, it doesn't deter me from wanting to drive. I would still definitely like to drive nitro. I mean, I can't say anybody that's driven a car wouldn't want to, but then again, you know, some people just don't have that desire. So my car, we're based out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. I've had a car together now for about 2 years. You know, and it's not a brand new state-of-the-art car. It's a car that I picked up off of Andy Bowl, and about two and a half years ago, I picked it up. And just this year, I was fortunate enough to have Jeff Davis and Jeff Zales, Specialized Autocraft. They were willing to give me a new paint job and give me a whole new look and make me look very more professional and try to make a statement for myself and say, hey, here I am.
Gotcha, man. Well, look, guys, I'm glad that, you know, you're not deterred and you're going to be back in your cars. And, you know, hey, if I had an opportunity to take a stab at it, I'm crazy enough to, I'd take a shot at it. You know, I think people were so shocked by this because it just doesn't seem to happen this way hardly anymore. We've, you know, the fire suppression systems that we actually check oil pressure and warm up now, unlike many years ago. I mean, like, I still can't believe when Mike Smith, oh, we used not to check oil pressure. I'm like, what? You didn't do what? Like, that's just like, there's an oil pressure gauge on a common car. Why are you not checking it? What is going on? But nonetheless, it just doesn't seem to happen that way hardly at all. And she had, I mean, one that will be at the top of the highlight reel for years to come, for sure. Years to come, for sure. Thomas, look, thank you for watching. He says, hello from your friendly good humor man. Hey, talking about ice cream, there was an ice cream that busted up and rolled up into the track on Sunday, late Sunday. I don't know how it got in. I don't know who let it in, but I have seen now officially an ice cream truck at the track. And how did I see it? I was following it.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. Let me give a shout out, guys, just real quick. Todd, he says, MMR, miss your work in the 716. And then Bernie Bartella, he's got a good front engine dragster original that he's brought back together and runs on nitro. He says, miss you here in Buffalo, MMR. Guys, those of you Lancaster, my Lancaster peeps, Buffalo, miss y'all too. I would have been up there this year, but this is 2020 and Corona has changed everything. So hopefully in 2021. Well, guys, look, looking to Top Fuel in particular, what can happen? What needs to happen to stop Steve Torrence going into these last two races? Look, I have nothing against Steve. I am pulling for Dougie. I'm pulling for Dougie. And Joe, I know you are. You know, what's got to happen?
Oh, man. Good question. You know, it's funny. Listen, that Capco team, they're badass. I mean, what can I say? They're just an amazing team. They really are. And so, you know, what's got to happen? Well, they have to outperform them. I saw on Sean Langdon's social media that he was testing in Doug's car. I don't know where they were testing. I'm going to reach out to Rob Flynn. I'm sure I'll talk to him over the next couple of days anyway. So hopefully they're out discovering what they can do to run a little faster. Rob's a brilliant guy. They've got a great team over there. I think really, look, Dougie's, I said it before on the show, I think Doug's the best driver out there. So then it's just a matter of what they can do together as a team to pick up a little bit, maybe catch a couple lucky breaks, because let's face it, even Steve-O from time to time, and I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you, every once in a while you get a lucky round, and you need that. And Doug has run. There's been times where he's lost a round to the ideally, he could have raced every other car in that round and won except the guy he was facing. So that comes down to where you're qualified and luck of the draw and that kind of thing. So don't know. I mean, to stop that serious Torrance machine there, it's going to take a lot of work, and boy, I'm pulling for Doug. And again, nothing against Steve. I like Steve. I don't know him real well at all, but hey, you got to hand it to the guy who's on top. He didn't get there by accident.
He certainly didn't. And look, I don't think it's just a matter of money. I mean, obviously he's proved in lower ranks he can drive. His dad too. They've been drag racers for a long time. It's not a matter of, we just have the money, we're going to go drag racing and beat everybody. I mean, certainly they're funded well with the family company. They got their own name on 2 cars, but nonetheless, they've got good people with the Laguna connection and with their own history in drag racing. So it's not a waff, it's not just they lucked into it. They are out there putting the work in, definitely. Jacob chimes in, and I want to bring this up and just say a few things. He says, "Foray deep stage." So maybe Doug could do that with Steve in deep stage. But
the funny thing about that is, if you think about it, Steve didn't lose that round.
No.
He won that round. So the deep stage didn't work because he still won the round.
Yep.
If the deep stage caused him a red light, or he missed the tree by a mile and lost on a wicked hole shot, And listen, you got to hand it to Cameron. He was doing everything he could do to win that round.
Bingo.
None of us go out there to lose. So yeah, you're darn right. We're going to do everything we can to win that round. It's a funny point, but at the end of the day, it didn't work.
Yep, it didn't. It didn't work. He still was able to win the round. And also Steve right now is like the individual that people have put the black hat on when he probably shouldn't have the black hat on. He's actually a really nice dude. He's just super emotional and gets amped up. And he's even helped this very team out, the Leverich team from Torrance, from scuffing the tires. Yes, there we go. Which, you get to use a set. I mean, that's huge for a team like Leverich or some of the smaller teams and other issues as well. And I can remember when Cameron was in the car at Indy, one of the first people over there to talk to Cam was Steve. He came over and he chatted with him. So folks, he's not a bad dude. He just was amped up and he'll admit that, and he has admitted it. Brian, look, when you as a crew guy, you and also as a racer, you look at what Capco's doing, you look at what in this championship battle as a drag racing fan, look, who you pulling for? How you think it's going to come down, and what would it be like to work with a team like Capco?
Oh man, it's money does things that let's just say money makes you very comfortable, and I've always worked for the small guy, you should say, and I kind of enjoy that. I like kind of being the underdog because it means a lot more, I think, when you're able to be that person and be that smaller team and go out there and take out the giant. I think there's a lot to that, and a lot of personal. I'm not sure the word to use, but it's just gratification. Don't get me wrong; I think it would be pretty neat, but I have a friend of real good friend and friend of Joe's as well. Obviously, his name's Jake Slater. He works on Alexis's car, and he's a good friend. He actually helped us out down in Gainesville with our fuel log. We found a crack, and he welded it up for us. But he said that it's a ton of fun. You get to see a lot of things, you get to do a lot of stuff, but it is a lot of work, and it's very time committing to do. So, I like to help a lot of people. I don't know that I may enjoy helping or working on one car and that's it. I think working for a big team turns it into a job, which of course it is. And, for me, drag racing is supposed to be fun. I don't want it to be a job. Even though having my own car, all my time is committed to that, and I still try to find time to help other people, obviously with helping the Leveriches and, Joe here and Gary. It's nice to be able to take a step back and be like, well, I still have a normal life, so to speak. I had this thought, maybe, Gary Pritchett is a big alcohol fan and he likes to drive. Maybe I can suck him away and tell him he could drive my car or something like that, and I could throw them off.
Oh, the scheming in the drag racing pits. Hey, Matt chimes in, the car chief. He says they came over and helped us with reverser 2, and he also says here, and bleeding the clutch. So, folks, no, Matt wasn't kicked off. He's still with us in the show, whether we want him or not, through the comment sections. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, that was actually Dom Lagana came over and helped us bleed the clutch in Indy. Sadly, the night before he had his accident.
Wow.
Super nice guy. I mean, it's the first time I actually had contact and talking with him. And, he was just open to teaching me, asking questions. He's never met me before. And, obviously going with Gary, and we were going through it. And, just super nice guy.
Definitely. And, in mentioning that, I'm glad that from everything I can hear, Dom is progressing and doing better. But in the drag racing community, we did lose Eric on Monday. And, folks, it's strange. I just want to say this. You never know who you meet. You never know who they are and, what they are, and value relationships and value the time you got with people. It's strange. I know Caleb Cox, the general manager over there at Cruise and, St. Louis. I said, hey, can I come take photos? And he's like, yeah, sure. And, I went back at Dallas and took more photos. And I remember I had a brief opportunity to take a couple of photos of Eric. And I was like, man, I'm going to have to make this adjustment. The light isn't right. And I'm literally the only opportunity I had. I didn't take any photos. And it's like Monday. I'm like, man, you never know. You just never know. We got to value everybody in the relationships that we have, and it's just amazing to me how folks will cut and slight, because man, life's precious, and you just never know. So, folks, by the way, if you're watching, there is a GoFundMe for Eric's family. You can find that on the Cruise Petragon page. So, if you are able to donate, please do that. Help his family out, because he does have a surviving wife and at least one child, if not 2. I can't remember, but tragic accident there. Well, let's talk about some brighter things, and something that I definitely think is bright is this Best of Texas barbecue sauce. Oh my goodness, this stuff, people. So, Joe, look, I had not had this stuff until I was in Dallas. I'm over at the Terry Haddock pit, and it was John had got catering, I think, for everybody from like Mike's Barbecue out of Dallas, and he had cases of the sauce. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Finally, I'm going to get to try this sauce. And I put it on my barbecue. That stuff is good. It is sweet. It is spicy. Just a little bit of heat. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. That stuff is good. So, man, look, plug your video and talk to us about how you like to use it in the Morrison home and the relationship and working out and being on the car this coming weekend.
Absolutely. So, again, fortunate to have met John through Nostalgia Racing. When he was, he's driving his Nostalgia Funny car, and I was driving Ted Bryan's Fuel Altered. And actually, I'm trying to think. We met a little before that too. I don't know. There's somewhere John and I have a selfie. We took a selfie at Englishtown in 2012 or 2013. So even before that. So long story short, when John first started with the sauce, I was like, of course I'll try it. And like you said, Lee, it's, look, man, I'm not just saying it's good because he sponsors the car. I asked him to sponsor the car because the sauce is good. It wasn't the other way around. So yeah, like we did a video, and it's up on the I actually have a Nitro Joe Morrison YouTube page. I also have, of course, we have Joe Morrison NHRA Top Fuel Driver Facebook page. So I'd love for folks to follow that. Or you could just search CH3NO2 Joe, and then that should pop up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So we did a video, my wife and I, Jen, we did a video of our barbecued ribs, baby back ribs, with some oven baked potatoes and what else? We had string beans with that. We're going to do another video actually coming up with some barbecue chicken. But the crew, what we're doing this weekend, so Saturday on qualifying day, Jen brought the crock pot. We're going to do pulled pork in the crock pot with the Best of Texas barbecue sauce, and that is amazing. So we're going to do sandwiches, and then Sunday on race day, hopefully we're going to be busy going rounds, and so we're going to keep it simple, and we're going to do chicken barbecue, like a barbecue pulled chicken with a pineapple and oh goodness, what was the other thing we were doing with a like a slaw and a pineapple salsa kind of thing. So Jen's the real chef. I do a little bit of the stuff on the grill, but those are a couple of our favorites. I've done barbecue chicken on the grill with the Best of Texas sauce too. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can actually even put it on burgers, believe it or not. You could do a barbecue burger, like a Texas style burger. I don't know. There's just endless ways. Actually, what you do is you go to bestoftexasbbqsauce.com, and John's got recipes up there. And even if you don't know what to do, you can try the recipes online. They're great. So yeah, excited to have Best of Texas on the side of the car. Excited to be, well, I'm excited that my wife Jen is doing some cooking for the team again because she's just awesome. And I'm not just saying that because she's sitting across from me.
Smart plug there, Joe. Smart plug. Brian, man, look, you just got the menu options this weekend. Looking forward to it as a crew member. And have you had the Best of Texas barbecue sauce yet?
But of course, I don't plan on doing any work anymore. I'm just going to sit there and eat. So we need to find another bottom end guy at this point because nothing's going to get done with that kind of menu.
Definitely, it sounds good. It's sad that I'm not going to be there and to enjoy it. It's so sad. But hey, you two eat for me, which that's going to be a lot on top of what you already eat. But nonetheless, eat for me and enjoy it. And yeah, look, guys, the sauce is that good. I mean, John, I talked to John this morning actually, and I said, look, man, I want you to have you on the show, my show Between the Slicks in the future, and I want to talk about it. But just very quickly, tell me, why did you go from like drag racing to barbecue sauce? What was it about it? And he's like, I was so impressed by the taste of this sauce. I had to be a part of it. Folks, when it's that good that you want to get in the business of it, that's some good sauce. So yeah. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Absolutely.
So guys,
easy to order online too. I was gonna say, make sure you go to bestoftexasbbqsauce.com and click on order. And it's just that simple. Order it, and it'll be delivered. So, yeah, jump on it.
Jump on it. And it's also comes in various – you can order like 1 and 2, a whole case, a rack. He's out of the big gallons right now, but nonetheless, that's another option that you can order. I mean, there's a lot of ways to order it. So, folks, if you have not tried this sauce, again – and we're not all saying it just because they're going to be on the car this weekend. No, we mean it. Like, I want to get some sauce. And I'm particular about my barbecue sauce. I'm a Carolina boy. I like my mustard base. And, I'm up here in North Carolina where they like their vinegar. I've had it all across this country. Don't try it in New York. Just saying. Sorry, Buffalo guys. But this Best of Texas barbecue sauce, it is good. And, hey, look, I think we got a new customer. That's my mom. wow, I got to try it. I'm ordering some. So we got at least
Wait
one.
until you order it.
So definitely try that sauce, folks. Try that sauce. Joe, have you been down to Houston before in the car, or is this going to be a new stop for you?
First time racing there. I was as I was trying to put together sponsorship and things over the course of many years. I've been trying to become a Top Fuel driver for 8 years now, steadily, quite honestly, and I was racing while I was racing nostalgia stuff, always working on this. So I'm trying to remember. I think it was 2014 or 2015. Might have been 2015. I was down there for the Spring Nationals, and I had a couple of guests there because they were based in Texas, and it worked out for the schedule. So I've been to the track before, and I've been to the NHRA Spring Nationals in Houston and Baytown there, but I've never driven on the track before, and I'm looking forward to it.
Cool deal, man. Cool deal. What about you, Brian? First trip or been down there before?
I've never been to Texas before. I'm pretty excited about that.
Like period?
Period. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you got to travel more, man. You got to get out of the house.
My parents didn't love me. So, no, yeah. I mean, honestly, the most traveling I've done in my entire life has been in drag racing. It's where I actually got to see everything that I have seen so far, from as far as Indianapolis to New Hampshire, Florida, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. But that's about it. It hasn't been much more than that. I've never been lucky enough to go out to the March meet. I wanted to go out there and see that stuff with the nostalgia racing. Just never had the opportunity. Just too much stuff going on, and trying to work on my own stuff and try to move forward. It's everybody knows these things run on money, so I'm doing everything I can to make or land sponsors or whatever. And it's just what it is for me at this point. But it seems like the leverages are expanding my range of places to go, so I'm all for it too. Not that I don't mind helping out, but Texas looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping I get to hang out with John Hale one day or another, because he seems like a fun guy with all his toys.
Yep. I'm sure John will be there, and I got to talk to him briefly here at the most recent national event, and definitely an interesting guy. Been able to do a lot, and I mean, he owns his own barbecue sauce company. Like, you're just cool when you own your own barbecue sauce company. I mean, that's just
planes
awesome.
And a hangar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
he's my hero.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of the sauce, Bernie Bartella, he says, I have jars in my. Well, he later said pantry and not just panty. So we understood, Bernie. We understood. I'm glad you got some in the pantry. And yes, it might hurt. It might hurt. You're serious about your sauce if you're carrying it in your underwear. Like, it goes with me everywhere. And, I'm getting a little sip here every now, yeah. You're serious about your sauce if you're carrying it in your underwear. Man, look, you'll enjoy Texas. I just hope, I haven't looked at the forecast for you guys, that it is not a hot weekend, because it is humid down there in Houston. Hopefully it's cool.
I could start my winter weight loss program down there then for next year.
Oh, well, you're not starting it on the weekend, though, because you got a great menu by a great cook of Joe's wife, and some great sauce with Best of Texas barbecue sauce. Well, guys, look, we're going to wrap this up in just a few moments. Joe, last words, man.
Well, it's we're having adventures from the road. Like I said, we're actually, I'm doing this from my camper, like I said, and we just I got to give a shout out. So as we were driving down Route 81, heading south, yes, driving from New Jersey to Houston, and we lost the radiator on the truck. It's an old truck, 2000 GMC dually, pulling this 29-foot little camper trailer. And so we quick looked on maps to figure out where the heck we were, and what's the town here? We're off of 81 in Virginia, Christiansburg, Virginia. Timothy Dalton from O'Reilly Auto Parts, and he went above and beyond the call of duty. He really did. He stayed late so we could finish swapping they loaned me the tools, and he actually was like, man, you guys have been out here working. He's like, he brought us a couple Dr. Peppers. I mean, quite honestly, it was just amazing. So Timothy Dalton, you're the man. Thank you for being kind and helping us out as we're, basically limping into the parking lot, and we're all set to go. We actually just finished up 10 minutes before we did the interview, so we'll be back on the road. So I wanted to make sure I gave that shout out to Tim, because he came up big, man. It was just great. He's a wonderful guy, and we appreciated it.
Thank you, Tim. And O'Reilly's, we need your name on the car. Just saying that out there. Just saying that out there. Brian, man, your thoughts on this weekend and what's going on with you? And I'm sure you're hoping that no oil and pistons and rods hit you.
Well, that's par for the course. I can't really complain about it, but I'm pretty excited for our little bit of a Saturday adventure. We have, if some of you guys listening heard Matt mention before, there's going to be a little surprise on Saturday for qualifying. We're looking to have some fun, and I'm hoping everybody enjoys it, and I'm hoping we don't make too much of a fool of ourselves. But, as far as working on the car, I'm excited. I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding to, rip these things apart and throw them back together as fast as we can. And, they fire up and they work and they go and make a run. There's no feeling like that. In my world with the alcohol car, we take it apart very meticulously and inspect things as we take it apart. This is much more of a thrash, and it's a different mindset, but I'm excited. I finish the season out strong, and I'm hoping we can get Joe to run a 3-second 300 to finish out this year.
Hey, it's out there. Joey Haas this past weekend, he got over 300 and won a 393. So, Joe, it might be your weekend, man. It might be your weekend. Look, Matt chimes in. This will be the last question. He says, ask Brian if he likes peanut butter. Now, I can't help but wonder if this has something to do with what is commonly referred as peanut butter, and it's actually some number of grease, and every team uses it, but it looks like peanut butter. As I told the cruise guys, I'm like, look, if it's Peter Pan, I want creamy, but if it's Jif, give me chunky. So, man, what do you think about peanut butter?
So the peanut butter is it's Detroit diesel assembly lube. It's been used forever. It's the best stuff out there. Everybody uses it. I use it. Basically, what Matt's referring to is I lay underneath his side of the, his cylinder head, and when he assembles the heads and sticks the heads on, he puts peanut butter on all the head studs. And he's not the most careful when he does that. So the one race, he looked down and there was just peanut butter all down my side. And he didn't say anything. But it's whatever. They're dripping oil on me, the nitro. I'm pushing the pistons up, and Matt will say, close your eyes, there's nitro in the cylinder. And then he'll forget, and the nitro will go right in my eye, and then I'll start screaming. It's a good time. But, let me tell you, there's nothing you can do. But just endure the pain. And then you got Todd dropping the candlestick out of the bell housing, and, boiling hot pieces of metal just laying on my arms while I'm down there. And there's not much I can do except take it. But, and nobody cares. It's all right. But I enjoy it.
Yep. No one cares. You're just the guy on the bottom. That no one cares. No one cares. Folks, we will have Todd on one day, and his nickname on the team is Retod. All right. So that tells you what kind of character we're getting into. We'll have him on eventually. Joe, look, thank you. Brian, thank you. To all of you watching, thank you. Root for Team Leverich this weekend. Keep your eye out. There's going to be some interesting things going on. Shenanigans. Oh. Yes. Yes.
Hopefully we don't get in trouble. I think we'll be okay.
I hope y'all do. I won't be there. So go ahead.
We
can talk about it later. Folks, you just need to watch qualifying and elimination. That's all I'm saying. Just watch. Gentlemen, thank you. Everyone out there, thank you. Look, tomorrow night, my show, 8 p.m. Between the Slicks, I have got Terry Totten on, Top Fuel driver, car owner, and also Justin Ashley with Guard Labs, talking about mouth guards. Very interesting, the edge he might have. Also, Colton Jordan with a update or preview for the ADRL in St. Louis. Folks,